Hi, Nathan here from tennisfitness.com. Thanks for joining me today. What I'm going to run you over today is a tennis-specific warm-up. First of all, I want to have a chat to you about the benefits of a tennis-specific warm-up. So the initial phase of the warm-up, we actually want to get your core temperature raised. We want to get your internal body temperature raised a little bit, and that's when you start to feel like you're just about to start sweating, you're starting to huff and puff a little bit. And what that does, it just helps our blood flow around our body a little bit quicker, preparing us for exercise. Okay, the second part of our warm-up, we're going to look at doing some specific footwork stimulation exercises. So we're going to be doing some skipping, and that's just going to help encourage the connection between our brain and the muscles that we're about to use, particularly our fast twitch muscle fibers. We want to get them activated and ready to rumble for us for our practice or our match. The third phase of our warm-up is we're going to go through what we call some roam exercises, some range of motion exercises. And you're going to see when we go through these that these are going to help open up the chain of movement, the chains of movement that we're going to be using during our tennis play or tennis match. Okay, it's very, very important to get them down pat. And then the fourth phase is going to be some tennis-specific shadowing, and that's going to finish it off. So all up, guys, this is going to take you about an 8 to 10 minute warm-up to get through. Okay, and you're going to be feeling fantastic, ready to go from that first ball when you walk on for your lesson or your match. Alright, so phase one of our warm-up, we want to get our core body temperature going. We want to get the blood circulated around our body. We want to start to increase our heart rate a little bit. So to do that, we're going to do some multi-directional running. Tennis is a sport, it's a multi-directional sport, so we don't want you just running straight up and down. We want you to mix in lots of different movement patterns. So we're going to do some forward running, some backward running, some side shuffles, okay, some rotations through running. We want to do that for 2 minutes, and each 20 to 30 seconds we want to start to pick up the intensity a little bit. I'm going to show you how it's done. Just starting to really pick up that intensity. By the end of your 2 minutes, you want to feel like you're really starting to huff and puff. And what that's going to do, just going to start to prepare you for the warm-up ahead and help to prevent injuries. So, the second phase of our warm-up, we're going to be doing some skipping. What we're trying to encourage here is our fast twitch fibers, okay, to get stimulated. So we don't want the skipping to be at a really slow tempo. If you are just a beginner though, you've got to go with what you've got to go with, okay? So just go at your own pace. As you start to get more experience and you start to get a bit better at the skill, you can start to pick it up and add in some more variations. So if you're just starting out on the rope, and really encourage particularly young athletes to get into their skipping, you're just going to start off with a double jump like that, nice and easy. Okay, we want to do this for 1 to 2 minutes for this whole skipping phase. Okay, and then as we start to get a little bit better, we can start to go single leg hops, side to side, and we can add in some actual single leg hops, so unilateral loading. I can really feel my calf starting to go now. Other side, there's no set repetitions for these, and we can do some side jumps, running on the spot. Okay, we can go a split step, forward split step, and then just mixing it all up, so forward and backward moving, side to side moving. Okay, what that's going to do, you can see that's elevating my heart rate even more from doing my multi-directional running. Okay, but it's really going to encourage those fast twitch muscle fibers to get involved with what I'm about to do. Alright, so we've done our 2 minutes of multi-directional running, we've done our 1 to 2 minutes of skipping, adding in those variations. Okay, phase 3, we want to do our range of motion exercise. So these are more movement-based dynamic stretches. Our first one is the squat lift. You want to aim to do 10 of these, toes pointing straight ahead. Okay, sitting down into it nice and deep, and we're coming up, swinging the arms up in the air. So this is warming up the hips, so the glutes, the thighs, okay, in my lower back a little bit, and also my shoulder girdle. So we've got 10 of these. Now notice the tempo I'm doing these at. You don't want it to be too slow, you want it to be nice, fluid movement. Alright, so there you've got 10 squat lifts. Alright, our second range of motion exercise we have is the lunge rotation. This is one of my favourites. So we drop down into a side lunge and we're just swinging the arms around. So we're opening up that rotation pattern. Okay, this is going to challenge your balance a little bit. Notice how I'm just keeping my back nice and straight. We want to do 10 of these on each side. Alright, range of motion exercise 3, we have the side lunge. So you notice my feet are hip width apart, toes pointing straight ahead. You've got to keep your toes pointing straight ahead the whole time through this exercise. So we step to the side, we step back, and we're alternating sides. So notice that my toes are straight ahead and I'm stretching up through here through my adductors. And I'm also activating these glute muscles, which are really important for any lateral movement in any sport. Keeping your body up nice and straight. We're going to go for 5 of these on each side. Alright, range of motion exercise number 4, guys. We've got the arm swings, okay? So this is going to help prepare us for our service motion and also just open up the hips through rotation a little bit. So you just see, I just start off by just swinging the arms, alternating sides like that. And then I just start to pivot off my toes and let the hips drive through with it. And we've got 20 of these, so we've got 10 on each side. Nice, fluid movement. Range of motion exercise number 5 is we have the hip push. So what I want you to think about with this is just dropping the hips out side to side like that. So imagine an arrow pointing out, and that's the direction we want to let the body go. So we want to drop out, and then as the hip drops out, we're actually pushing the upper body the opposite direction. So that hand's going that way and that hip's going that way, and we're going to open up through here. Okay, and we drop side to side. So you can adjust your stance to get a little bit more out of this one, and then really try and encourage that upper body just to push through and the hip to drive out. Okay, you want to do 20 of these, so 10 on each side. And now our last range of motion exercise is a hamstring walkout. Okay, we're going to achieve a few things by doing this. We're going to stimulate the muscles in the shoulder girdle. We're going to get them activated and ready for contact with the ball. Secondly, we're going to activate our core muscles. Okay, we're going to get them opening up and getting them nice and tight. And then thirdly, we're going to get the calves and the hamstrings lengthened out a little bit. So to do this, we're going to come down into a push-up position. So notice my hands are straight underneath my shoulder joint, so we don't want the hands out there. Okay, or automatically there, I can feel these muscles here starting to grab and contract. So we want to squeeze the shoulder blades in together, keep a nice straight posture to start, and pull the navel into the spine. So my belly muscles are starting to work as well. In that position now, I walk my feet in towards my hands until I get a big stretch running through the back of my calf up into my hamstring. When I walk in as far as I can, okay, we want to hold it and then we slide the hands out. Get in position again and we walk again. Slide out, hold, activate, walk in again. And we're going to do 10 repetitions of those, and that completes our range of motion exercises. Alright, so the last phase of our warm-up is specific tennis shadowing. We're going to do 3 sets of 10 repetitions. The first set of 10 we're actually going to do at 50% intensity. We're going to have about a 10-second rest, and then you're going to do the second set at 70% intensity, have a rest, and then the third set we're going flat out at 100%. What we need you to focus on here is footwork, good posture, good positioning, okay? And think about how you're going to move on court, what you're preparing yourself for. So you want to breathe through it and start to think about what you've been working on with your coach, or what you want to focus on in your lesson or your match. I'll show you how it starts. So I'm going to be sitting here on 70%. Okay, I'll show you how I want it to look. So we've got 10 shots. So that was my 70%. What you need to really think about when you're doing these is not going just side to side. You want to move the direction up. Change it up, give yourself some variation in there as well. Right. So there you have it, there's your tennis specific warm-up brought to you by tennisfitness.com. We encourage you to do that as frequently as you can before your matches and before your practice to really get yourself going on court from that first ball. Let's quickly just go over the phases of the warm-up. So we had the initial warm-up phase, okay, which entailed multi-directional running around court for 2 minutes. Then we moved into the skipping, which is opening up your pathway, so open up the communication between your body and stimulating those fast twitch fibers a little bit. Then we moved into our phase 3, which is our range of motion exercises or the dynamic stretching, okay? And then we finished off with our shadowing, okay? So the shadowing really is going to impact the muscle memory, so it's going to enable your body to be hyper prepared for the match, so you're going to be used to moving in those certain movement patterns. Now during any part of the phase of the warm-up, if you feel tight in a particular area like your quads or your hamstrings, you'll stop and you will stretch those areas out before moving on. So once again, thanks for watching this. Until next time, train like a pro, play like a pro.